Hi, friends. So I am Alexis Russell, founder of the Mindful Journal Club. I don't always sound like this. Been sick for a couple weeks. We figuring it out. It's getting better. Don't sound like it, but it is. It's getting better. We are on week 11 of the Mindful Journal Club, which is mind-blowing. It's wild. It's so good. Thank you all for joining the club, for being a part of our community, for liking the prompts, responding, engaging in the group. The Mindful Journal Club is really about just bringing peeps together who want to journal. It's about showing up. I started this club to show up for myself every week. I show up to journal, to write, to let my mind breathe, if that makes sense. Let my heart breathe, because there's so much that can happen in just 1 week that we need the breather. Because I know from personal experience, I'm not taking the breathers every day like I'm supposed to. But if I know that I have a set time that I can breathe physically, mentally, emotionally, from my heart onto paper and just get it all out, then I know I'll be okay. And I can move forward into my next week. So that's what the Mindful Journal Club is all about. There's no pressure. It's really just about coming as you are, showing up for yourself and breathing with words. So Mindful Journal Club, we're at week 11. So excited to be at week 11. And this week we had some kind of new prompts. And the first one, our opening prompt, so of course we always start with our opening prompt, was about reverse thinking, which is something that I've never really thought about. And I was really excited to get into this one, but we started our journal entries with the beginning of the sentence. And the sentence is, today I discovered that I didn't need ... So we are filling in the blank, and we're really kind of exploring what we've learned about ourselves. And it could be today, it could be over the past week, whatever works for you, whatever makes the most sense. But we're exploring what we've learned about our own expectations, our own assumptions and desires, things that we think we need, but may not necessarily need them. So we took some time to reverse engineer our thinking a bit, and we wrote about what we didn't need. So came up on my journal, on my page. Today, I discovered that I didn't need to be or do anything more than what's needed. Sometimes I find myself adding things to my plate that really don't need to be there. And it's when I sit and pause and really think about it that I start to remove things from that plate. And I really am able to ground myself in that process. So I didn't need to be or do anything more than what's actually needed. And the next thing I wrote was, I didn't need to stress over small things. So sometimes I stress over my daughter's crying or someone getting hurt or whatever it is with little kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I stress so much. I have so much anxiety around small cuts that happen. It's life. They're kids. They're going to play. They're going to get hurt. They're going to fall. They're going to be moody. They're going to cry over things that me as an adult, I'm like, yo, that's really not something you should be crying about. Not saying that to them, but I'm teaching them that we really don't have to cry over necessarily everything. Internally, I'm learning not to stress over the small things, because what is big in their world, what is huge to them, what is most important to them is really that important to them at that time. I have to put what I believe, what I've learned, what I feel, I have to put that aside to just be there with them. But I don't have to stress over it with them, because when I stress, then they just stress even more. And it just kind of validates that something like, a toy or, a little small cut or something like that then becomes even bigger. Right. So I learned that I relearned that I really don't have to stress over the small things. I also wrote that today I discovered I didn't need to hold my breath. Life happens. It gets hard sometimes, but it's temporary. And when we hold our breath through that situation, I don't think it helps. It doesn't help me, at least. But if I can breathe through the situation. It's like when you having a baby, right? You breathe through it. You're not holding your breath trying to push the baby out. You're breathing through it. And that physical practice of just breathing through it should be translated into the the other moments in life, the chaotic moments, the hard moments in life. We should just be breathing through, because it just keeps our hearts and our heads grounded and kind of at this, indescribable level of peace, when we should be probably stressing out and losing our minds over hard situations. If we learn to breathe through them, then I think we'll be okay. Today I discovered that I didn't need to hold my breath, and that I just needed to breathe through everything. Just keep breathing. So that was our reverse thinking prompt. I love that one. That one was so fun for me. So after our opening prompt, we go right into our intention setting. What are our intentions for specifically today's journal session? My intention today was to keep going. And when I do intention setting, it's really all about releasing any expectations of what you expect to get out of something. But it's really more about focusing on you, your heart. They're very much heart-driven. Intentions for me are heart-driven, and it's about what I want to gain out of something, not what I'm expecting of others. And so we did our intention setting, and then we shifted into our mindful practice. I love incorporating these mindful practices into our journal sessions because we're the Mindful Journal Club, so why not include mindfulness practices, right? But then also, it brings me to the present moment. And so this week, it was about color connection. We chose a color that we just happened to notice today, and we spent 5 minutes writing about everything that we associate with that color. So feelings, memories, objects, people, whatever it was, we wrote it down, and then we asked ourselves, how does this color show up in my life on a daily basis? So I chose the color blue for no particular reason. It just kind of stood out today. My daughter's cereal box was blue. And so that's what I wrote about the color blue. It is my favorite color. I love the color blue. But I only love it because it's associated with my grandmother, whose favorite color is blue. And she's born in September, so her birthstone is sapphire blue. I love it, right? And everything that I associate about the color blue, maybe not everything, but a few things are, it brings a sense of calm, peace, inner peace, specifically quiet. Blue represents for me water and like this sense of like fresh air on like a sunny day, specifically in the fall and specifically at a playground. So like I have this memory of like the perfect warm fall day with a blue sky and being at a playground as a kid and just letting go and enjoying my time, specifically on the swing. That was my release. If I could get on the swing and go as high as possible to make myself feel like I was in the sky with the clouds. I used to do that all the time. That just is like a memory in my head around that color blue, because I would look up at the sky and it would be just so beautiful and blue. And the last part of that prompt was, how does this color show up in your life? So blue for me shows up not as often as I would like it to. It's weird. It's not really like in my home too much, but I guess I lean on blue when I need that inner peace and that calm and that relaxation. And I think about my grandmother and it's soothing and it calms me down. So then we moved into our main prompt, which was another creative prompt. I enjoyed this one this week. So we took a chaotic situation that we've actually experienced and we changed the narrative. So the prompt was to think of a chaotic situation that you've experienced recently and write a narrative that transforms this chaos into calm, using your creativity to change the outcome or your reaction to a more peaceful resolution. This was fun because it was really about storytelling and seeing how it was self-reflective. It was seeing how we may have responded to a situation and then how we could have changed that or how we can approach it differently in the future. Thanksgiving is a few days away. Your sister and nephew are in town, and out of what it seems like left field, everyone is sick. Headaches, chills, no voice, babies coughing, runny noses, low to no energy at all. Then a day later, your car breaks down and you spend thousands of dollars you don't have to get a rental to get by and to fix your car. Then your phone rings, not once, but twice. And there's a family member who has been in the hospital. And then you get another call, that second call, and your dad is driving himself to the emergency room. Unexpected. Your partner gets a call that his job is closing down at the end of the year. And to top it all off, Christmas is only 3 weeks away. We sit in silence, in prayer, in gratitude. We smile with a bit of healthy delusion. We breathe deeply without panic. We focus on the next step, even though we may not know what it is. We remain grounded in gratitude to find inner peace. We hug our daughters, then each other, and then ourselves. So, all of that that I just read has actually just happened in the last few weeks alone. It's been wild. It's been wild. Few weeks, a wild ride. But the narrative here, the goal here was to change the narrative or to change the response. And so I've actually been kind of proud of myself because we haven't been like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We've really been calm through the chaos, which is saying a lot. And this ending, we sit in silence and prayer and gratitude. We smile with a bit of healthy delusion. We breathe deeply without panic. That whole section is really about taking it one day at a time. Life happens, and when it does, we have to keep going. Even if we don't know the path or the next step, we have to get up in the morning and we have to keep moving and we have to create our own path if necessary, and we must keep going. So I'm excited if you're interested in sharing your response to this prompt. I would love to read it. Would love to hear it. I'll create a section in the club so that you guys can kind of just share your response to this prompt and then go from there. Super excited to see what you guys come up with. And then our final prompt, we always end in gratitude. And this one was an interesting one. It was a gratitude time capsule. So this time capsule was where we were imagining that we were creating a gratitude time capsule. And we were going to open it 5 years from now, 5 years down the road. And we're now writing things that we'd be grateful for, that we are grateful for today, that we want our future selves to remember and appreciate. So this one I had to fight tears with, but this one was interesting. Time for me is I don't know if anyone follows Mariah Carey and how she's like, time isn't what is time? Time doesn't exist. It's not real. So that's kind of how my brain works sometimes. So when it comes to thinking of time and how it passes just so quickly, especially when you have children and they just kind of grow up without you even blinking, it seems. And so in my time capsule, my gratitude time capsule, I have my daughter's hands. I'm grateful for because they're small now, but 5 years when they're 11 and 7, they'll be much bigger and they may not necessarily fit in my own hands. I also have their feet. They're tiny, but they haven't traveled far yet. The chaos. I'm grateful for all of the chaos that's happening right now. And I'm remembering that it's not a lesson. The chaos is not a lesson. It's a journey. And I'll miss the toddler chaos in 5 years. And then the final thing that I wrote is that I'll miss the feeling of being unsettled and a bit lost. Because it's when we're lost that we begin to find our way. And right now it feels like I'm kind of just throwing things at the wall and hoping they stick, especially as an entrepreneur. But I'm holding it all in gratitude and in hope that in 5 years it would be different. But I would have these memories to look back on and to say, I can't be here where I am now if it weren't for these moments, these times, these hands, and the tiny feet and all of the chaos. So that was week 11. We went from our opening prompt, reverse thinking, to our gratitude time capsule. And this week was fun. I enjoyed these prompts and I hope you do as well. So yeah, I hope to see everyone in our next session at 4 p.m. I hope to see you there. All right. Peace be.